All right, let's talk about something kind of weird. It's one of those things we've all probably wondered about, but, never actually say out loud. What exactly do we smell like when we're asleep? It's a bit of a mystery, right? So today, we're going to pull back the covers, literally, and get into the science of our nightly scent.
I mean, think about it. You're passed out for, what, 8 hours? Tucked away in your own little cocoon. So what's really going on in there, scent-wise? Is it different from how you smell during the day? Does it, I don't know, tell a story about you? Well, you might be surprised, but the answer to all of that is a big yes.
Okay, so first things first. Before we can really get into the nitty-gritty of our sleep scent, we gotta have something to compare it to, right? We need a baseline. And believe it or not, there's a huge difference between a wake you and a sleep you when it comes to smell.
Okay, check this out. The really wild part here is the environment. When you're sleeping, your bed basically turns into this little incubator. Now, the sweat you're producing is actually way milder than, say, gym sweat. It's just from your body ticking over. But, and this is the key, you're trapped under all those warm, humid blankets, so that milder scent gets super concentrated. And that's where you get that, muffy, warm, skin-heavy smell.
All right, so the whole bed as an incubator thing explains a lot. But here's where our little investigation gets really interesting. It's the big question. Is there a difference between how men and women smell when they're asleep? And according to the science, yep, there often is.
And this is pretty much the core finding from a ton of studies that have looked at our sweat and all the little compounds we release. On average, and that's a key phrase, on average, there's a real detectable difference. Men tend to have a stronger, more musky scent profile. Women, on the other hand, are generally described as lighter or softer. So what's behind this? Why the difference?
All right, let's zoom in, like way in, down to the microscopic level to see what's actually building this scent. We're going to break down the 3 main reasons for this gender divide, and believe it or not, it all kicks off with our sweat glands.
So, quick biology lesson. We've got 2 main kinds of sweat glands. They're the ones all over your body that are just there to cool you down. Simple enough. But then you've got these guys, the apocrine glands. These are the ones we can thank for what we usually call BO. They pump out a totally different kind of sweat, one that's basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for bacteria.
And here's the crucial point. In men, these apocrine glands are typically bigger and more active. They're just built differently. So even when you're sleeping, they're pumping out more of the raw materials, those fats and proteins, that bacteria just love to munch on. It's like having a bigger engine. More fuel for the bacteria means, well, a stronger scent.
Okay, so that's number 1, but it's not just about sweat. Number 2 on our list is oil, specifically the natural oil our skin makes called sebum. This is a huge factor.
And because of hormones, specifically androgens, men tend to produce more of this sebum. So over an entire night, you've got all this extra oil on the skin and in the bedding, and the microbes are just having a field day, breaking it all down. This adds a completely different layer to the whole scent profile.
And that brings us to our third and final piece of the puzzle. It all comes down to the actual molecules that we smell. Scientists call them volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short. Think of these as the specific chemical fingerprint of any given smell.
And this table just lays it all out, right? You can see the chemical difference plain as day. For men, the VOCs are dominated by these steroid-like molecules. That's where you get that classic musky or pungent smell. But for women, it's a different story. Their profile is more about fatty acid-based molecules, and this creates that softer scent, and can sometimes even lead to these really surprising notes like onion or even grapefruit. Wild, right?
Okay, so the science in the lab seems pretty cut and dried. But I know what you're probably thinking. Hold on, I've never really noticed this huge difference. And you know what? You're probably right. There's a massive gap between a controlled lab setting and, well, your actual bedroom.
So, time for a reality check. There are 3 big reasons why these biological differences get all mixed up in the real world, making them way less obvious.
First up, the blanket effect. Your bedding is basically a giant scent sponge. It just soaks everything up and mixes it all together. Then there's the shower factor. Do you shower at night or in the morning? That decision alone completely changes your skin's bacteria and resets your baseline scent. And maybe the biggest one of all, the you factor. Your own unique genetics and, yeah, what you had for dinner last night can have a way bigger impact on your body odor than your gender does.
So, what's the final verdict here? Well, biologically,
Yes, there is absolutely a difference. On average, men's sleep scent is stronger, more musky. Women's is lighter, softer. And we know why. It's the glands, the sebum, and those VOCs. But, and this is a big but, in the real world, all of your individual factors, your diet, your genes, your habits, those often shout way louder than the quiet whisper of gender.
So at the end of the day, your sleep scent isn't just one simple thing. It's this incredibly complex story that's being written every single night by your biology, your lifestyle, and yeah, even that garlic bread you had with dinner. It's this totally unique, invisible part of who you are. Kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What story is your body telling while you're off dreaming?